Success. Media. Network. 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 Network.
This is your show.
Good day, Successors. I'm Antonio Holman, and welcome to the 4 Principles of Success number 36, where I chat with successful people and entrepreneurs about how they enhance their businesses and lives in the areas of knowledge, health, wealth, and spirituality. Today, we're talking to Steffan Surdek. Steffan is located in Montreal, Canada, and is an in-demand leadership coach, a corporate trainer, as well as president and consulting principal at Fixus Cultures, where the belief is to contribute to a greater cause and make a difference by cultivating collaborative, purposeful organizations. As a widely recognized principal consultant, Steffan's work has a strong business impact while helping reshape business cultures and guiding them to becoming more collaborative and efficient. Being a successful business coach and consultant, Steffan believes that connecting with people at a personal level is the key that allows him to contribute to a greater cause and consistently make a real and sustainable difference with his clients both professionally and personally. Steffan, are you ready to help our listeners prepare for success?
Oh, I've been looking forward to this all week, Antonio.
All right, great. All right, Steffan, aside from your business world, tell us a little bit about your personal life.
So I live around Montreal. I have 2 kids, a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. I live out in suburbia here, so it's always nice and quiet. I don't like city life all that much. I prefer having peace and quiet when I get back home at the end of the day or for weekends. I like to be able to relax. I'm a bit of a techno geek. I like to play with my website with Provoking Leadership. I like to play with all sorts of stuff to learn some tech stuff. I also like to, when I have the chance, I like to woodwork too. Just take the time, do something that gives me time for myself, with myself, and that focuses on something different for me than just being focused on people like I am day to day.
For those who may not know, tell us about your website, provokingleadership.com, and what inspired you to create it.
We started that with a few of my friends back in 2012. We were part of the Tribal Leadership Intensive Approval Program. And basically, it was a way that we found to work together to talk about leadership and to try to bring our collective energy together and have fun with it. And since then, my 2 friends have been blogging a little bit less than me, but I've been using it as my platform to talk about leadership as much as I can. I like to talk about communication. I like to talk about co-creative leadership, how leaders can be more collaborative with their teams, more authentic leadership in the world. So in a way, it allows me to share my purpose with the world and to live my purpose with the world.
You recently wrote an article about how to create responsibility through powerful conversations, in which you use correlations with your children.
Yes.
How can these tactics be used in the world of business to help increase integrity?
I tell some stories sometimes with my kids. I do it for 2 reasons on the website, and then we'll bring it back to business. I do it because sometimes I talk with friends and they ask me about, they tell me of their challenges when they parent their kids. And when I tell them some of the things that I do with my kids, they kind of chuckle and they go, "So where do you read about that?" So every once in a while, I like to drop one of those articles on my blog for fun. And it's also an exercise for me in sharing more personally about myself. When we talk about business, though, what I find interesting about an article such as that one is that the exact same principles apply in business as I did with my son. So just to give the audience a high-level view of the post, basically my son, we were handling my son in a way where we limited his video game action during the week, and he didn't quite like that for a bit. And we caught him sneaking his iPod to his room. We caught him sneaking another game in his room. And essentially the moral of the story is we realized that he needed something else and that maybe he didn't know how to communicate it with us. So we kind of gave him the tools to communicate it with us. So in a business context, think about this as a manager or as a leader inside an organization. When you're talking with people and they're doing something that you wouldn't like, and you can see that maybe it's for reasons that, they're not comfortable talking about certain things. They don't know what to talk about because we're not used to talking about our needs. It's kind of this weird place in business where we're not supposed to talk about needs. We're not supposed to talk about our emotions, but really it's the key to being heard. So that's a little bit the moral. I didn't go there in the article, but you can easily bring that to that place in the business world.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm leading with my next couple questions. Now, many entrepreneurs, they lead large teams of people, and there's a daily struggle for certain, entrepreneurs to keep the frustrations of their personal lives from actually bleeding into their team unconsciously. How can business owners learn to lessen that inner turmoil and mental baggage so they can better serve their employees and their clients?
Sometimes the important thing is putting that baggage on the table, actually, and saying, I'm having a crappy day because of, and then people kind of know what's in your head. Maybe they'll give you a bit more space. They'll be a bit more spacious with you. That takes vulnerability as a leader, putting yourself out there in that way. And after that, once it's out there, at least you don't need to hold it back. And I think sometimes you'll react as a leader because you're keeping all of this for yourself. So you're lashing out and people don't know why. And if you let go of some of that and you put it on the table, it's like you don't really need to hold it back. You can just talk and say, you can be in a calmer place, I find.
So in the same vein, what are some key beginning steps for entrepreneurs to actually have their emotions help them be more authentic between their communications of their clients and their employees?
There's a few things there. The first thing is to know yourself as an entrepreneur. Know some of your triggers, know about your way of being, know about your impact on people, develop a lot of self-awareness. And then it's about vulnerability. It's about what are you willing to share? What are you willing to talk about? How can you talk about it? And even, how do you take responsibility for how you're acting with your employees and how you're working with your employees? I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs over the years that I've worked for as an employee that had no idea of their impact, and they thought, I'm the boss. I can say whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. But that's just hurtful and it's demotivating as an employee. I've been on the receiving end of that, and that's no fun.
A lot of leaders, they create companies, a lot of founders, they create these companies, and eventually some invite co-owners, to help them build the organization. The issue that always, or well, not necessarily always, but a lot of times it arises is that the founders typically want to do everything on their own. They want to have more control. What can people like that do about actually inviting a co-creative experience amongst the founder and the co-owners?
With founders and co-owners, I think the key is around purpose. What is your purpose as an entrepreneur? Why did you start this company? I've been at many networking meetings, and I like to talk with entrepreneurs and ask them, what's your outrage? Why did you start what you're starting? And you typically hear very personal stories about something that happened in their lives and that they weren't too happy with and that outraged them and that drove them to go and build that company. If you're going to find people to work with you, you need a similar set of values. You need a shared purpose. You need to really want to build the same thing together if you even want to be able to let go, because I face that challenge myself too sometimes with my own team. Sometimes it's hard to be spacious, to share the vision, because people don't always know how to join in and how to play with you too. So you have to be very proactive in creating that space, I find.
What's your philosophy on storytelling and how it can affect your brand?
Storytelling can be a lot of fun. Storytelling can be very powerful because often I find that we talk a lot from a rational space, especially when we talk about business. And, when we get to storytelling is wonderful in many different ways because it's a way of actually sharing our values and our beliefs. Before we had the internet, before we had television, before we had radio, we'd still transmit our values. And how would we do it? We'd do it sitting around a campfire singing songs. We'd do it through the stories that we'd tell our kids. So storytelling is a very powerful vehicle to communicate our values and also to inspire people.
Now, I'm going to take this in a little different direction. Life's ups and downs. It's a roller coaster ride. No matter what we do, and nothing ever stays good and positive and perfect. Throughout your journey, what was that one time when you felt most unsuccessful personally?
So the most unsuccessful I felt was about 6 years ago. I spent my life being an achiever, being really, really good at what I did, and having that being valued everywhere that I worked. And 6 years ago, just during that year, I worked in a company for a single year, and it was the most disruptive thing I've had in my life because everything that I did that used to make me good, that used to make me a valuable employee, now doing these things were threatening to other people. I was being called arrogant. I was being called all sorts of stuff I wasn't being used to being told. And that was probably the toughest year in my life, going through that crucible and kind of taking a look and saying, okay, am I intentional enough? And I didn't know about these words before, and I started learning about those words at that point. How can I be more clear on my intentions? Because really, if I'm telling you that what you're doing isn't good, I'm not trying to put you down. I'm trying to open the door to help you make it better. And people couldn't always understand that. And to this day, sometimes maybe they don't. But I'm a lot more intentional in my life since then. But that was really a crucible for me because I spent a year where I basically, I was Superman before that in my career. And all of a sudden, I felt like someone put 2 bars of kryptonite in my pants and all my powers were gone. That one was tough.
Yeah, those unsuccessful times, they can really try us, but they end up teaching us so much.
Well, we have different types of moments in our lives, right? We have these moments that we can call like the yes sir moments or the heck yes moments, where we're very proud of what we accomplished. And when we talk about those things, there's a lot of joy inside us. And those are like our positive stories. But we also have, 2 other types of moments. We have like crucible moments, which are the ones that kind of change us, right? The first time we lose someone in our family, first time someone dies, or the first time we lose a job, it questions us at a different level. And the last one is those hell no moments, those moments that outrage us so much that we just have to do something about it because this cannot stand. So yes, we can learn from many moments in our lives.
Oh, yeah. What do you feel was one hard thing for you to overcome in your business, but you've since conquered it?
The fear of starting a business. That's the biggest one. 6 years ago, I made a choice. I could go work for a company or I could start my own business. And I was really afraid and nervous around, would I be able to find clients? Would I be able to run a business? What do I want as a business? And so I stayed 4 years at the company that I joined at that point. And then I had a moment where I was ready to leave that company. And they said, Steph, don't leave us. Don't leave us at Pixis right away. Is there a way for you to stay? So over the last 2.5 years, over the first 4 years, I had a lot of opportunities to learn about business development, to learn about getting clients, to learn. Some of my fears were kind of unraveled, let's say, because I got to see that I was able to do it. And over the last 2 years, within the company, I've been a bit of an intrapreneur where I've been developing Pixis cultures by working with my clients, and last year by hiring people. And so first of all, hiring people was another thing for me. Would I hire people? What kind of people? What does that mean? That was another fear of mine that I had to get comfortable with and unravel. And in that first year of building it, I wouldn't do it. I was afraid. And in the second year, I said, tough, I'm going to go and I'm going to figure it out because this is what I want to do. So, those were two of the big fears that I had to unravel.
What was your most challenging client-related situation, and how did you resolve it?
There's different types of those. The most challenging one can be with clients. We do coaching, we do consulting work, and sometimes clients just aren't happy with what we're delivering in certain situations. And the hardest thing sometimes is to try to put ego aside and to kind of accept when, yes, I have done something wrong here. I didn't deliver on what they wanted. I shouldn't be blaming them about it. That part of that is for me to own. So those types of situations are the hardest ones for me, to really stay centered, to stay focused, to take ownership of the good and also the bad that we create sometimes.
What one thing in your business are you currently struggling to overcome?
So in my company, we're 4 right now, and we're kind of a brand new company in a certain way because we really separated Pixis Cultures, separated from Pixis Technologies really in April. So my biggest challenge right now is creating a collective sense of we on my team. And for us to all realize, yes, we really are independent right now and we can really do whatever we want. So what do we want to do?
What do you feel is your one biggest business triumph to date?
Oh, the biggest business triumph for me is starting the business, actually launching it and being in it and living it and having fun with it, really owning it, not doing it because I feel forced to, but doing it because I actually love what I do. I have a very crazy and hectic schedule. It's almost not funny sometimes. But, knowing that I'm doing this for my own business kind of makes it better. I can accept that I'm doing it. It's fun doing it. I don't resent doing it. So that's the biggest one that I've overcome.
What was the most powerful feeling that really drove you to set out on your own, to be your own boss?
Oh, for me, it was outrage. I had one of those hell no moments. I was working with my consulting team at the time, and I was overloaded, overwhelmed. I didn't feel much support, and I was literally burning myself out. And I'm not saying anyone were bad people here. It's all how it occurred to me. And in the end, I remember we had this big meeting that was supposed to make things better. And when I walked out, I actually felt worse. And at that moment, at that single moment in time, I said, oh, no, I can't take this anymore. I'm done. I'm doing something else. So it was really a sense of outrage that launched me out on my own.
It was a feeling of being out of control of your destiny. Is that what it felt like to you?
It wasn't as much out of control of my destiny of I do not want to live this anymore. So I will not live this anymore. And that sense of outrage fueled me for a year.
What do you feel is your one biggest personal triumph today?
Biggest personal triumph, I think, you talk about spiritual as being one of the factors of success. And for me, it's been reconnecting with myself over the last 3-4 years. As a coach, when I started, I was a very rational person. I can still be. But I learned to connect with myself at a deeper level that I had forgotten for a very long time. And that was like a gift in my life. And the biggest gift is that before I could overwork myself and I wouldn't realize it, I wouldn't know the cost I was paying. And now when I do, I kind of hear that little voice inside me that says, remember me? And being able to hear that voice again is one of my biggest personal triumphs for me.
Hang tight, successors. We'll return to our conversation with Steffan Surdek, as well as quick success after a word from our sponsors. Are you a tense, tired, busy person who works day in and day out, who tends to lack the proper sleep and energy? Using modular supplements, health-related articles, recipes, life hacks, and more, Bellison can help. With quality as high as Bellison, you're buying from a company that cares about the environment and only uses premium vegan supplements. That's Bellison.com. Want to learn how to cook healthy, exercise, and meditate in just 30 minutes a day? Bellison.com. Want to feel healthy, energetic, and focused like me? Bellison.com. To receive a 10% discount at checkout, visit Bellison.com with the coupon code THE4POS. Visit Bellison.com now. That's BELISAN.com. Compassion and quality without compromise. Bellison.com. And we're back with business coach and consultant Steffan Surdek. Now, we will get into the part of the show I like to call Quick Success, where you, Steffan, can inspire the successors to enhance their lives in the areas of knowledge, health, wealth, and spirituality. Steffan, what are you currently doing to enhance your knowledge?
I'm trying things over and over and over again. As an entrepreneur, I'm learning about finance these days. I'm learning about how to build my website, but you know, what I find fun in terms of knowledge is that I adopt very much an attitude of learning. I don't believe in failure, really. I believe in doing something to figure out what am I going to learn by doing that. And that's the mission in itself. So whatever I'm doing could fail or not, but I try to get to the larger thing that I'm doing by continuously trying and learning until I find what gets me where I want to get.
What are you currently doing to enhance your health?
Not enough is the real question. What I should be doing, that's the one area of my life that I'm kind of neglecting right now. If I were in my ideal world, I'd be exercising more than I'm exercising now. Because traveling as much as I do, it's hard for me to get into a routine. But that's an area that I have some awareness right now that I have to do. I have to learn to do a little bit more self-care.
What are you currently doing to enhance your wealth?
To enhance my wealth, starting the company actually is one way of doing that. And finding the right clients, I find. If I bring this back to business, it's about finding the right clients. I don't like to find clients just to have clients to make money. I like to have clients that we want to do something together. Money is just the vehicle to make that happen. But we're actually building something together. And I find as long as I take the time to find the right clients, it's good for my team, it's good for us as a company, it's good for the client, everyone wins.
What are you currently doing to enhance your spirituality?
For spirituality, that goes back to the being in touch with myself. So as I said a few years ago, I learned to get back in touch with myself. And sometimes the best gift that I give myself is when I spend time doing some restorative yoga a few times a week. I don't do enough, but I'm getting more and more into the routine because I'm in a place now that when I don't do it for a long time, I realize it. So that's part of the self-care that I'm working on these days. And in terms of spirituality, I like to work. What I like about the restorative yoga is it helps me restore my sense of presence. And when I talk about presence, the times I feel the most present, I feel I have this connection to all, this connection to source, people will refer to, or this connection to all in life. And yeah, that I try to work to get to that place. It brings me more peace.
When it comes to success, what do you feel is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
Change how something occurs to you and change your life. Often, we don't realize, but we can choose how we perceive something. So we can perceive something as negative. If someone screams at us, we can perceive that the person is a jerk and be angry. Or we can also make the choice of saying, well, maybe this person is trying to tell me something and it's just being awkward at it. Maybe I should be more curious. And I find that when I adopt that approach and when I try to be aware of how I perceive and how I decide to react to things based on that, I find I make better life decisions.
What new thing, book, activity, technology, or skill are you really excited to learn and dive into?
These days, it's playing with video production. Sometimes when I do conference presentations, I record the audio, and after that, I kind of rebuild my presentation using screenshots and using and building the audio. And these days, I'm working with my team at building an e-campus where we can teach courses online. So recording the videos for that, seeing how that piece of it works, how to reassemble all those videos at the end is something that I'm playing with these days. That's a lot of fun for me. It's a nice unwinder.
As far as helping our listeners achieve success in whatever it is that they're doing, what piece of advice can you give them?
I think the most important thing is find your purpose. Know why you're doing what you're doing. And also never, some of my friends, when they describe me, they say that the way I occur to them, when you tell me no, what you're actually telling me is not right now, I'm not ready for you, because I keep persisting. So I find, know what you want, find the ways to get to it, and don't get discouraged on the first time if you don't get it, because life is a journey, and it's about the learnings that we go through in life. It's about how we learn from our experiences, how we accept our experiences, good or bad. So being in this place of continuous learning, accepting yourself, being able to take responsibility and accountability for who you are, I find those are some of the keys in my life.
How can the listeners connect with you?
They can connect with me over a couple of places. I'm on Twitter. My handle on Twitter is SURDEK. You can also read a lot of what I write on my website called provokingleadership.com. And if you're looking to maybe hire me as a speaker or have me speak at one of your events, you can find more information about me on SteffanSurdek.com, SteffanSurdek.com.
All right, finally, Steffan, what's your definition of success?
My definition of success is finding a way to meet your needs in life and being happy. Sometimes it's not just about being out there and making tons of money. You can make tons of money and not be happy. What's made me the most happy in my life is discovering my purpose and living into and stepping into that purpose. So that's the best piece I can give.
Okay, successors, I hope you've enjoyed my conversation with Steffan Surdek. Please check out more successful free content like this at the4pos.com, as well as rate and review wherever you find your podcast. Thanks for listening and prepare for success. Thanks, Steffan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
If you want to be more driven and more motivated in your life or business, go to the4pos.com/free book and grab a copy of my book, Indulge Your Affirmative Motivation Within. 25 Motivations of Personal Development and Life Success. Get it now at the4pos.com/free book. Again, that's the4pos.com/free book. Podcasters, want more listeners? Check out promosharecast.com and join the community today. That's promosharecast.com. Join today and get the first month free, and you'll also receive 50% off for a lifetime membership. Sign up today. promosharecast.com.